I don't know if I should wait for more people to join or if I should just get started. I should probably just get started. It's kind of an odd time in the afternoon. So here's the thing. There are lots of keys to success, but there are two that we are absolutely certain of. Okay, there are two keys to success that I am absolutely, God's honest truth, die hard certain of. And it's not just me. It's like anybody who's been successful ever. Okay, there are two keys. Well, there's lots of keys, but there are two well-known ones that are unquestionable. Okay, the first one is being excited for what you're doing. All right, and none of this is going to be new. Everything I'm about to say in this segment is not new, but it's going to keep going. Guys, I have notes. I legit have notes. Being really excited about what you're doing. Okay, and this is so essential for our success in our businesses, because if you're not excited about what you're doing, people don't want to be a part of it. Why does anybody want to do what you're doing if you're not excited about what you're doing? Why does anybody want to join your crazy town makeup gig if you don't seem to be loving what you're doing? Why would anybody want to be a part of that? Okay, so one of the keys to success in life, in any business, but especially ours, is being excited for what you're doing. Okay, and then the second thing is doing enough of it. All right, that means just doing once or twice, one or two, it's not enough, right? You have to do enough of the thing you love to get the return on success. Okay, and I've got a million instances of this. In fact, Molly just voice messaged me. Actually, she just voice messaged me that she wants to do a training. I'm not going to hijack Molly's training for her team, but she wants to do a training because she's been talking about setting spray, talking about it. Nothing. She kept talking about it. And boom, last night, finally 2 sales. Sometimes we're doing something a few times and it really takes like 20 more times before it finally sinks in and we get a return on it. Okay, so 2 keys to success, all right? Being excited for what you're doing, that genuine excitement, and doing enough of it, all right? Those are the 2 keys to success. Well, 2 of the keys to success. Now, what does this have to do with my topic? Here's the problem, okay? The problem, and it literally says the problem in my notes. Leaders, and I use that word loosely, leaders as in the people who have come before and have been doing this long enough and have found some relative success in it. So that's me, that's Carissa, that's Brittany, that's Erica, that's Molly, that's Brienne, that's Amber Voigt, that's Nicole Smith, that's Sherry Brown, that's it might be you. There's a lot, that's Audrey Brewer, there's so many leaders, guys, so many leaders, even amongst you. Here's the deal. The problem is, we talked about those 2 keys to success. The problem is when us leaders come and bring what we know, we train on what we know and what we do well, okay? So when I come to my team page, when I come to Team Courage, or when I come to my circle page, I train on what I know and know how to do well and what I enjoy, okay? So my keys to success, being super excited about what I'm doing and doing enough of it, all the things I've done to find the success I've found are all things that I know and that I do well, okay? I can't show up and teach everybody here how to do stuff that I don't know how to do well. I can't do that, okay? Same with Sherry Brown, same with Brittany Kaplan, same with Brianne Kerr, same with all the leaders within Team Courage. Every single one of us, we show up and we train on what we know how to do well, because that's by nature what we do, okay? The problem with that, okay, that's not really a problem. That's just how this works, right? That's how this works. That's what we do. The actual problem is that the way that I do things and what I do well and what I enjoy doing might not be what you enjoy doing and what you do well. You feel me? Are you following so far? So let me give you an example. And the problem with that is that it's really hard to convey excitement about what you're doing, which is one of those keys to success. It's really hard to convey that excitement for what you're doing if you're trying to duplicate what somebody else does really well, but what you don't necessarily do very well and what you don't necessarily love, but you're doing it because that's what you've been taught to do. But it's really hard to find your passion and excitement when you're just trying to recreate what somebody else has done. You know what I mean? So an example. I'm going to use Blake, my friend who inspired this whole training today. So I'm over at Blake's house last night, and she's not just like a business friend. She's like our husbands, have worked together. They were deployed together. all that sort of stuff. And so I'm over there and we're talking about whatever. Finally comes around to business. And, you know, and I tell her straight up, because I was like, dude, I see what you do. You do great work. I said, I think the issue is that you're not doing enough of it. I was like, you know, you could, and guys, that sounds really harsh. I promise I wasn't saying it in a harsh tone. And she was like, yeah. And we were kind of talking about it. She was like, I just have a hard time. She was like, I procrastinate. She talked about how she procrastinates, how she's like, oh, I need to do this. And then she puts it off. And so we kept talking a little bit more, and I, of course, and the way I built my business, okay, was entirely online. Entirely. Like, I didn't do a single in-person anything. You didn't cry, Blake. Did you really cry later? She didn't cry in them. Are you serious? Blake, for real. Guys, I really don't think she cried. We laughed. Unless she cried later. Blake, for real. Now I'm okay. You give me a panic attack in the middle of a live. So the thing is, the way, like I said, the problem being that us leaders teach what we know and what we've always done. Well, here's the deal, guys. I built my entire business online. I didn't leave my house to build myself up to purple status. Okay, and right before I hit black status, that like last 6 months before I hit black status, I started doing things outside the home for the first time. So I built all the way up to the top in my company, in our company, without ever leaving my house. That's what I know. That's my comfort zone, really, so to speak. And that's how I built this. That's what I was good at. And I was really excited because I could be home with my kids and I could be taking pictures and selfies, whatever. And that's what I knew. So that's what I taught. And that's the way I train. Okay, is all this online social media, how to use social media to your advantage, how to use attraction marketing. I got real good at that. And that's what I teach. Okay, but I'm sitting there talking to Blake, guys, who's laughing right now because she's giving me a heart attack on live. I'm sitting there talking to Blake, and she is using, you know, she's doing the things that I have literally said to do. She actually has a business page, and she shares it to her personal page, and she's working really hard at trying to interact with people more online and all these things. And she's like, and she's talking about how it's just a struggle. And then we started talking about being in person. And I said something about how I'm so awkward when I try to talk to people in person. And she was like, man, I am so good in person. And she starts talking about how much she thrives on that in-person interaction. Guys, she used to work in a store on a sales floor, okay? And then she was like, you know what I'm really good at? And she was like, what I'm really good at, she was like, is helping people decide what they want. I'm really good at helping people figure out what they want. And it hit me, guys, like a ton of bricks. Here I am teaching my friend Blake how to build a business the way that I've built a business, in the way that I am good at it, in the way that I thrive and get excited about, because it works for me and it's where my strengths are. My strengths are truly in writing, and I can get on video and I can speak and whatever, but you put me face to face with an actual human being and I get blubbery with my words and it's no good. None of it's good. Okay, so what you have here is me trying to teach somebody who is so good in person, who is so good with that face-to-face interaction, helping people decide what they want. And I'm not saying she shouldn't listen to anything I'm saying, okay? I think there's value in watching all different kinds of leaders and taking the pieces that fit, all right? But fundamentally, I'm playing to my strengths, and her trying to learn the way that I've done things, which aren't the same strengths as the ones that she inherently has, that's a hindrance to her business. You see what I'm saying? And so I sat there in her kitchen and I was like, what are we doing? I was like, you should be doing things in person. I was like, you know, this is my path. This is what has worked for me and how my business grew to what it is. And it's where my strengths are. But that's not where Blake's strengths are. And there's nothing wrong with that. FedEx is here. I'm going to get a package, you guys. It's not where her strengths are. Right? And so the solution to the problem, okay, so keys to success, being really excited about what you're doing, that genuine excitement, because guys, you want to grow your team. People need to be a part of what you're doing. And nobody wants to be a part of what you're doing if you're not excited about what you're doing, okay? And two, doing enough of it. You've got to do a lot of it. It's not just enough to just go here and there. You've got to do a lot of it to get to the levels of success you want to get. If this guy rings my doorbell, I'm going to be upset. He's going to ring my doorbell. I'm waiting for it, you guys. Oh, he didn't ring the doorbell. Yes. Sorry. That's an aside. Everybody's napping. So is doing enough of it. And then the problem, right? I'm repeating myself just for emphasis. The problem is that us leaders, we train on what worked for us. What Numa's right here next to me. I'm surprised she's asleep. That's why she didn't bark. We train on what works for us and how we got to where we are. That's what we train on. I train on my strengths, okay? And my strengths aren't in person. And here I am with this team member whose strengths are in person, and that really, like, man, she's super involved in a lot of the stuff with our base here and all that. And I'm like, that stuff gives me a heart attack. Like thinking, I'm like, can I just stay home here in my house behind a computer screen, like a homebody? And Blake is all out there, and she's like really social and does really awesome at that stuff, right? And so me trying to teach her to do what I've done in the way that I've done it doesn't make any sense, okay? Because Blake isn't me. And her strengths are true to her. So the solution to the problem, okay, is to pave your own way. Okay, that sounds terrible, but truly to pave your own way. Play to your strengths. Watch the trainings, by all means. Watch me talk about social media and attraction marketing. Watch Breanne Kerr talk about networking with other people. Watch, oh my gosh, there's a million out there. Watch Sherry Brown, watch Nicole Smith, watch Erica Warner and Brittany Williams and Molly Stack and Carissa. Watch these people, watch all the leaders, okay? And take from it ideas, inspiration, encouragement, motivation. Take those things away for sure. I'm not saying to blow off the training of leaders who have found success in this business. I'm not saying to blow off those trainings, but I am saying pave your own way, play to your own strengths. If the online social media thing, if you know for a fact, okay, and you might not know your strengths, that's a whole other conversation a little bit later, but you might not know your strengths. But if you do, play to that strength. I think about Blake, and I was like, Blake, you need to be doing stuff in person. You, like, for sure, keep your business page, keep your Facebook. When you do things in person, add them to your Facebook. Use that as a support to augment, okay, what you're doing in person. But you don't have to be somebody who does your entire business online. That's what worked for me. That's not what's going to get Blake to black status, right? If that's where she wants to be. That's not what's going to get her to black status. And I should know this, okay? Because if you look at every single black status presenter and you listen to all our stories, not a single one of us got there in the same way. Period. Not a single one of us did the same things to get to the top of the company. We all found our own way that worked for us, okay? And it's really hard once you're amongst black status presenters because you start playing that comparison game and you start to feel like, shoot, I did this all wrong. Like you feel like a fraud at first because you're looking around and you're like sitting amongst all of them, like theoretically, you know, just in a group, and you're like, I didn't do any of that. How am I here right now? I did this all wrong. And you start to question yourself, and you start to question whether or not, you know, you really deserve to be there, and whether or not you're really good at this, and like, am I even qualified to train a team? Because I didn't do any of the things these people are talking about, and somehow I'm here. And let me tell you, you are, okay? Like I have to remind myself of that. Like, this is my own self-talk that I have to have. But the point is that like Teresa says here, you have to focus on your personal passion. You play to your strengths, okay? And then secondarily, make sure you're doing enough of whatever it is. Okay, so using the Blake example again, because that's what I've been doing. You know, her thing is in person. She knows she's way better in person. She knows she's really good at helping people figure out. Well, guess what? Now that she knows that, it's going to be a matter of doing enough of it, right? It's not enough just to do something once or twice or maybe even 3 times a month. No, you've got to do enough of it. All right. But the key to doing enough of it is that if it's something you really actually like doing, you're going to do enough of it. you're going to have no problem doing enough of it. I had no problem, because that was the thing when she and I were sitting there talking, and I was like, you're doing all the right things. I was like, you're just not doing enough of them. And she was like, and then I get it in my head, and then I procrastinate, and I don't really want to do it. And then I told her, and I told guys, I'm telling you, we're friends, and she's giving me a hard time there, but we're friends. I told her, I said, listen, I also got to tell you, I said, there's not a lot of energy, like that excited energy behind it. And I realized there's not excited energy behind it because that's not her jam. You try to get me to get excited about something that is not my jam, and it is not happening. Okay, it's not happening. If it doesn't light me up, you will know that it doesn't light me up, because I will not light up. I'll be like, okay, like it'll get done, but I'm not going to be super jazzed, and I might even put a smile on for it, but it's not going to be super. Lauren Brooks is really pumped about this, and it's really obvious. Okay, and you need that genuine excitement for what you're doing. You need that genuine, you need that. And people will know if you're faking it. You cannot fake genuine enthusiasm. Okay, so whatever you're doing, whatever your strength is, whether it's, and I'm speaking in broad strokes, in person versus online. Those are very broad strokes, but guys, this goes all the way down to even the minute details of it. Instagram versus Facebook, okay? Vendor events versus in-home parties, all right? Networking events, all these things. There's so many little fine details in those broad strokes. I'm just speaking in broad strokes. Because that key to success, you have to be genuinely excited, okay? You have to be genuinely excited, right? You can't fake that. And so if you're playing to your strength, if you're playing to what you're going to love doing, you're not going to have a problem finding the excitement, because it's going to come. Because when Blake and I were having this conversation, I was like, I thought to myself about the beginning of my business, and I thought, man, it was never a chore to post things online. It was never a chore. It was exciting for me. I had a really good time doing it. I'm really good at sharing on social media. I'm going to own that strength, guys. I'm really good at sharing on social media. I got really good with words. I watched a couple of people and how they did attraction marketing, and I picked up on it really quickly, and I was good at it. Okay, so it was exciting and fun for me to do that. If it wasn't exciting and fun for me to do that, I wouldn't have done it, and I wouldn't have been successful, and my genuine excitement wouldn't have been there, right? So for Blake, when she finds her own little flow with in-person stuff, with the in-person events, whatever that looks like, okay, when she finds her flow with that, it's going to be easy for her to share that excitement. It's going to be easy for her to have that genuine excitement that is a key to success in our business, because that's how you attract people to the opportunity. Okay, the more you look like you enjoy it, and guys, that attraction works regardless of whether you're only using attraction marketing or if you're also messaging. Okay, so it attracts people because they see it and they want to know about it, because, oh gosh, you appear to really love what you're doing, and they want to talk about it. It also works for if you're actually offering the opportunity to somebody. Hey, I think you would be awesome at what I do. Well, then they're going to look at what you do, and they're going to pay attention to whether or not you enjoy it. Okay, so this key to success, that genuine excitement, is pretty dang essential for what you're doing. And if you're not playing to your personal strengths, if you're just trying to imitate the strengths of the leaders who've come before you, and maybe their strengths are the same as yours, okay, because that happens. Amber Voigt is who I learned attraction marketing from, first and foremost, and that's just like, that's clearly a strength of hers that she had, and I picked up on it. So you might have like a mesh thing with the leaders you're watching, and you might be able to take what they're saying and take all of their training and be able to implement it, and it might work for you. But if it doesn't light you up, take the inspiration, take the ideas, and mold them to the way in which you're going to be able to get excited about your business. Because if you're not excited about your business, you are not attracting people to your business, period. Okay? Right. Well, I like that observation, Teresa, that your strengths have changed over the last year. Yeah. And they will, you kind of, like, one of my, I might, I feel like I need to have it made into a sign and put it above my desk. It says, because I have a motto in my head these days, which is stay open. Stay open. Don't get so rigidly entrenched. I love it. After expanding my comfort zone, I discovered new strengths. the journey, friends, the journey. Stay open. And when you're expanding that comfort zone, you start with what works, right? And you expand it and you expand it and you expand it, and you're going to find new strengths, exactly like Teresa said. And then and then it comes down to make sure you're doing enough of it. You gotta do enough of it. I one of the other pieces of conversation last night, and I really hope this wasn't a part of that, but I was talking to Blake, and I had a really hard day yesterday. Actually, I started crying when Chris got home. I was like, there's no joy in my day at any point. I feel no joy. It's just one chore after another, and cleaning up after kids, and I have no time to fit my business in. And there's no, literally, I'm imitating myself. This was literally my conversation with Chris. And so then when Blake sent me a picture of cake and box wine and was like, do you want to come over after dinner? I was like, yeah, I'll come over for some cake and box wine. And so we got there, and I was telling her about this conversation, and I was like, and I was like, my business, I said, right now I'm doing the bare minimum to keep showing up, to keep my business going, because the summer overwhelm is going to pass. I'm going to get to a place where I'm not in the summer overwhelm, and it's going to be good. But right now I'm just keeping my business alive. And she was like, shoot, your bare minimum, is like, she was like, your bare minimum is like my 100%, which is not to knock Blake. Blake actually does quite a bit, but that's what she said. And that's when I was like, well, you're doing all the right things. You just need to do more. You just need to do more. And that has to do with the live that I did yesterday with you line up your expectations with your output. If you're just doing things once a day, posting once a day, doing only a little bit here and there, you can't have the expectation that your business is really going to grow or that it's going to do much other than just kind of exist. Okay, you might get sales here and there and it'll be good, but it's just going to exist. It's not going to grow. Okay. Your output has to be like here in order for your business to grow. So you have to do enough of it. You have to find that excitement, find the thing that lights you up. You can't, the training from leaders is valuable. It's valuable. That's where we learn. That's how we learn. That's how we try new things. But if we're just trying to do the things that the leaders who've come before us have done, you're cutting yourself short. Okay. Because you might not find joy in that. You might not find excitement in that. And if you don't find excitement in that, you're not attracting people to your business. Find the thing that lights you up, that you can get excited about, right? Teresa, yes. Dude, yesterday was a day. It was a freaking day. And I actually said, I made my notes this morning before breakfast, it says small bit here, you guys. And this is kind of an aside from everything I just said. If you're feeling in a funk about your business, it's probably because you're kind of disconnected from it. And again, I'm just speaking from personal experience, but when I am in a funk about when this conversation with Blake last night, blew my mind up. It's like all these little things lit up in my brain, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I got super excited again. Okay. It's been 3 weeks in summer, and I'm still feeling my way around in the dark, basically, and trying to find the habits and the pattern to keep my business and to boom my business this summer. And corporate, man, is pulling out all the stops. The triple points thing, that's a whole, I gotta probably do a live on that. That's a whole other thing. But I've just been in a funk, I need to find that excitement again. Well, guess what? My excitement was gone because I was super disconnected from it because I've been childrening for 3 weeks, childrening and erranding and right? And so then last night when I got to have a conversation about business that wasn't interrupted by a kid, it lit up my brain and it excited me. So this, my little bit, okay, is that if you're feeling a little bit in a funk about your business, consider that you might actually be kind of disconnected from it. And hear me, I've been working my business every day. And so you can still work your business every day and be disconnected from it, okay? You can still work your business every day and be going through the motions and be disconnected from it. Getting to talk about my business reminded me of stuff that I really love in this business. Reflecting on my business in the very beginning of it and kind of the things I did versus, what Blake is doing and all that stuff, it reminded me of what I love in this. Personal development, okay, that wasn't necessarily, I wasn't reading anything, but getting to have that reflection and that conversation sparked a fire in me that was yep, I do love my business. Everything is good. It realigned things. So if you are feeling kind of like, I missed my business and the mission with it. Yes, I think I'm trying to like connect all the dots in my head there, but yes. So that's what I got, you guys. That's what I've got. Keys to success: being genuinely excited for what you're doing. Number 1. Number 2, doing enough of it. Doing enough of it, right? It takes a lot more than you think it will to get results. Okay, Molly Stack and that message she just sent me, all right, that was like, I've been talking about the setting spray for days now, for days and days and days, and nothing, and she kept posting even though there was nothing. Because that's the other thing, was part of my conversation with Blake. She was like, I feel like I'm like running out of ideas. I don't want to be repetitive. Guys, you have to be repetitive. You have to be repetitive. Okay, and so anyway, she was like over and over and over again, and finally, boom, 2 sales of setting spray. But it took all of that effort, all of that posting to get the results. You have to be doing enough of it, right? The problem is that us leaders train on what we know and what we do well, and that might not be something that you know or do well or care to do well. And if you don't know it or care to do well, it's hard to be genuinely excited about something if it's not something that you know and do well. And you need that genuine excitement. That's a key to success, okay? The solution is to pave your own way. Watch trainings for ideas, inspiration, encouragement. Discover your own strengths and what you love, and apply ideas and inspiration and encouragement. And maybe it's identical, but maybe it's not. Apply it in your own way and pave your own way. Do something that lights you up about your business. And then make sure you're doing enough of whatever it is. Do enough of it. That's what I got, you guys. I hope this is valuable. I'm going to save it because I feel like this is something that I'm going to want to remember and share with others. And so I am going to probably upload this to my YouTube. Share it with your teams, tag your teams. This is an odd time of day, so not a lot of people are able to ever get on at this time. But thank you so much, you guys. Teresa, I feel you. The longing does get palpable. When I am away from my business, I think, man, something's jacked up right now. I need to fill that cup. And it's hard to fill that cup when you have a million other balls in the air. But finding the windows to be able to do that is super valuable. So that's what I got. Now I'm gonna go upload this. Everybody, I think it's quiet in my house, which is rare. So I'm gonna go do some things, probably some VIP group things, because I need to sell some makeup, you guys. I don't know about you, but I need to sell some makeup. Triple points right now. Holy moly. This is anybody's trip. For every 1 PRS point, and I say point because in Australia they don't line up with dollars. So 1 PRS point is 3 trip points. Guys, that's a lot. Okay, so man, you've got this. And then on top of that, what was the other thing? Oh, free shipping and foundation. If you have a foundation. There's a lot. Find the windows of time. I know I feel like that's really cliche to say, and I know that it's hard to do because I'm living my own personal finding my own windows of time right now, and it doesn't feel as good to just work in small windows of time. But I'm telling you, in the fall, you will thank yourself. Okay, there are days that I'm like, when am I gonna work? Where am I gonna work? I'm running 6 different directions and kids and blah. But I know, because this is my 3rd summer in this business, that the showing up and the finding the moments, even if it feels messy and not quite right, the staying in it pays off in the fall. So have a super awesome day, you guys. I'm gonna upload this to my YouTube, and I will see you later. Bye.